Alright, what's going on, everybody? So today was the series premiere for Project Scarred, Scarl and the Praeter. And with this anime is coming at us from GoHands, the same studio that did K and that did Handshakers. And this show feels like a amalgamation or a combination of those two series. And I gotta say, this show, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm not gonna mince words. This show is ugly looking. This show is just as bad, if not worse, than Handshakers in terms of visuals and stuff. As far as like the plot goes, um, I guess the plot could be okay. The only saving grace, the thing that could possibly save the show is if the writing is good and if the if the story is very interesting. And from what I can tell with this first episode, this really does feel like it really does feel like a mix of K and Handshakers, and it feels a lot like K because in this episode we basically get name dropped and we get to see the different fractions because that was something in K, and it's been a while since I've seen K, but uh I remember in K there was like these different groups, right? And we have the same thing kind of going. We have the same thing going on with this show, and the whole plot with this show is basically there's a special ward in Tokyo that essentially is it's essentially independent of Tokyo. It's almost like a self governing town, and it's sort of lawless. And the main character Kai Yamato and his kid brother, what's his name, Minato. So like they live in that special ward, but they live in like that poor sort of crime infested area called B1. And in this episode, we get introduced to a few characters. Edgy, this hero of the town. Edgy is the hero of the Akatsuki ward, who helped basically protect the ward and everything. But the main thing I really want to talk about in this video, I'm not gonna lie, is just how bad this thing looks. I'm gonna be honest. The saving grace for the show, the only thing that's gonna save this show is good writing. Is good writing and an interesting story. And they give us a few things that could possibly be interesting in here with the whole, introducing the idea of these. Basically, there are these people called Scarred, and Edgy is one of the Scarred, and they basically have these magical tattoos. So like this show's gonna have that magic, that different sort of powers, which it's been a while since I've seen K, but I believe they had some sort of powers and stuff in there. It's been a while since I've seen that, but yeah, the thing that's gonna save this is gonna be the writing because honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like I kept pausing this thing every few seconds. Like I had to watch the show twice. It is literally, I'll be honest with y'all. It is like 12 o'clock when I'm recording this, so please forgive me if I sound a little out of energy or a little weird. And please forgive me if I'm if I misremember anything or anything like that. But I wanted to go ahead and get this out to y'all because I ended up watching the show pretty late. But yeah, man, this thing I had to keep pausing it every 5 seconds, and I actually had to rewatch it. So I watched it twice, or like I stopped watching it. I stopped watching in the middle of it the second time around, but I did watch the whole thing the first time around. But after completing the episode the first time around, I went back and watched a bit more of it, and I kept having to pause it that first time around because I wanted to look at the environments. And the reason why this thing looks so bad, like at first, so like even from the first opening minutes, it's very clear. Like this show, they overused the whole CG and 3D, and a lot of it, like most of the show, the environments is like CG, and even the objects, like the cars, and even the guns. Weirdly enough, even the guns that the characters use in this episode are CG. And it looks odd because the characters themselves are 2D, and the characters themselves, man, Oh my god. Now some of y'all might like these character designs. These character designs are ugly as heck to me, bro. These why the eyes look like that and their face, like one of the guys' faces, well, really all their faces. They just it looks weird. It looks so bizarre and it's bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I paused this one time and just thought to myself, I'm like, yo, so somebody literally sat there in the editing room. Like y'all actually sat there and really thought to yourselves that this looks good. This 2D stuff on top of this 3D environments. And here's the thing, some of the 3D environments, like some of the 3D backgrounds would look like super detailed, like it comes from a PS4 or a PS3 game or something. And then sometimes the textures look bad, sometimes the environments look bad, and it just looks weird when you see a 2D character sitting inside of a 3D car, and or if you see a car that's like in the background, it's a 3D car in the background while there's like these 3D like these 2D characters right beside it. It looks like it literally looks like somebody photoshopped that 3D car into the scene almost. Or Photoshop those characters into the scene. It looks jarring. It looks weird. And honestly, I've said this in a lot of my anime reviews before, but mixing 2D and 3D or 2D and CG, it can look weird. And in this show, it just looks bizarre. It looks weird and it looks ugly. Honestly, the only thing I can really praise, and I use that word very lightly. The only thing that's I guess you could say kind of good about this episode is like there's this brief moment where Kai and Edgy, there's a brief moment where Kai and Edgy, I don't even want to call it a fight because it's very brief, but that brief confrontation that we get in the beginning, right? That brief, like I said, I don't want to call it a fight, but that brief confrontation, that was probably the best bit of animation, the best sort of quote unquote fight in this episode. You got the dynamic camera moving, and I'll even give them credit for the fight choreography, even though the show just looks ugly, and in general the animation doesn't look that great. But like I said, that one moment kind of stood out to me. But other than that, man, this just looks terrible. When I looked at the trailer for this show, I was just like, oh my god, it looks terrible. It looks horrible. Like I honestly wanted to watch this just out of curiosity because honestly, like I said, it could, like, the source material itself, because it comes, so like this is a anime adaptation of a manga, and it's written by, what's his name, Yui Kori, whatever. I'm sorry, again, 12 o'clock. It's kind of late here, but this is a manga adaptation, and for all I know, the source material is like really good. But I think that this was a bad choice. They need to stop with this whole. I don't know what their I don't know if they have some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Infatuation with like using these like 3D CG environments and kind of mixing it with 2D and kind of just mixing the 3D and 2D, but it doesn't look right, man. It does not look right. They need to choose one or the other, man. Choose one or the other. This doesn't. I'll say this much. This show doesn't look as bad as X Arm. It doesn't look nearly as bad as X Arm. I'm sorry. I mean, at least this looks way better than X Arm, at least. But something else I also have to mention is that, like, another reason why it kind of looks ugly. Like they try to add this sort of they add this sort of gradient or sort of tint to the backgrounds and to the whole thing itself. Like it's kind of like bluish, greenish, or yellowish or whatever, and it just like the whole thing just looks freaking ugly, man. But yeah, like I said, the best thing we can hope for is just good writing for this, man. Really. For those of y'all that was looking for maybe a sort of a spiritual successor to K, then I don't know if I can really honestly say if this is it, if this is going to be it, because I'm just not confident enough to say whether or not this is gonna be a good successor to K, but it does have those little bit of elements of K in there. And so that's pretty much all I gotta say about this show. This is a very, I feel like this is a very bad first impression, and I'm not sure whether or not it's gonna get better or even worse from here on out. But yeah, the show looks ugly. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about it. Honestly, I'm I'll be surprised if I end up doing another review for this, but I just wanted to go ahead and talk about it since it came out today, and I wanted to just go ahead and say my piece on it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this show, the first episode and everything, and like the video, subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.